conspiracy to commit murder.
All right, y'all, you're locked in here to the Midwest Mayhem.
I still always want to show up, and that's just, I have not lost any passion for the job.
Welcome to the Midwest Mayhem podcast with your host Tyler and Lockie. This is where small town stories, wild headlines, and real conversations come together. We also shine a light on first responders, veterans, and on mental health. Because every voice deserves to be heard. This is the Midwest Mayhem podcast.
I've been an open book about mental health.
Paramedic
from a federal prison.
Your fake leader hiding behind the title.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Midwest Mayhem podcast. I am your host Tyler, and sitting with me today, if you guys noticed, is Miss Lockie. Lockie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's 2 weeks since we've done this with Nathan was our last guest.
I believe
guest number
so.
15 on Voices of Valor. And if you guys noticed, if you're watching the YouTube video, we are back here at Frontline Armory, great sponsor of ours. Cannot thank these guys enough for everything they do and take care of us, especially when I forget stuff like my mouse today. So glad to be back. How about you?
Yes, this is a good way to spend a new week, the start of a new week.
Absolutely. We love doing these. We have so much fun.
We do.
Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
I absolutely do. Absolutely, I do. There is a very handsome Farmington fireman that has a birthday today. And I say that because he is my child. Brett Horton is 25 today, and I have accomplished a 25-year-old staying alive and a 27-year-old. So if you see him out in the fire truck, he's only there until 7 p.m. tonight because he's going to go turkey hunting, and he's probably going to go home and play video games and drink beer. But
Smart man.
yes, but he is 25 today, and I'm a little bit proud of him. He's also the assistant fire chief at Bismarck. I guess I need to shout that out as well.
Well, happy birthday, Brett. This won't come out till Friday, so these people are going to have no clue they're going to be telling him happy birthday on Friday.
That's okay. Anything we can do to embarrass him, that it works. I called this morning and I FaceTimed him, and they were all standing out in the garage or the bay, whatever. And so I was like, happy birthday to you. And you could immediately, his cheeks are red and they're all, Jake's in the back. I already sang happy birthday to him. And that's about how Jake sounds. So, but yeah, he's celebrating at Farmington Fire right now.
Oh, well, hopefully he catches a good fire, and I'm sure that'll be the best birthday present that boy could probably get.
Right.
Well, happy birthday, Brett. And this episode comes out on Friday. Today is Sunday, so you guys know. So when you go to tell Brett happy birthday, you're not extremely confused. But again, we're back here at Frontline Armory. Great place. Always smells good. Nathan and Craig take care of us over here. Cannot thank them enough again. Huge shout out to Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen over in Potosi. Another sponsor of ours. Fantastic. Adam and Christy. They have amazing coffee, and their food is absolutely phenomenal. I can't thank them enough for everything they do for us and the great food and service they provide to first responders in Potosi, and the care that they take of all of them. Mm-hmm. So another sponsor we just got here in the past 2 weeks since we've been off, we've now got Fire Lake Winery out off 47. They joined the Midwest Mayhem lineup for Voices of Valor as a Voices of Valor legacy sponsor. Rich out there is a great guy. Cannot thank him enough. I met him when I delivered ice back way when, and he always took care of me when I went out there. And they also have amazing food, and my wife really likes their wine. So
I was out there yesterday, and it's a really neat, relaxing atmosphere. Food is good. Their pasta salad, it was so good. But it's neat. And of course, I didn't know Rich, and I happened to be listening to the Rizzuto show one morning, and he's describing all this stuff, and I'm like, well, hang on a second, that's in, that's
Cadet.
That's Washington County.
Yeah.
That's Cadet, and so I messaged him, and because it was really cool that he had actually won it in an auction to be with the morning show that day, which is my dream to do one of these days. Only if Jeff Burton would be there, but it was neat, and I got to meet him yesterday. Well, I kind of met him. They were really busy yesterday.
Yeah, they had the pin-up car cruise, right?
I did meet his son. Very nice young man.
Yeah.
So I look forward to working with them.
Yeah, they have a beautiful lake you can go sit out and drink wine by. They got a really nice heated and cooled patio out there. The inside of the restaurant's beautiful. We'll be going out there at some point in time once I get with Rich, and we'll be doing some recording with him, and I think he wants to come on and do an episode with us. But I did tell him in an email that we're not as cool as the Rizzuto show, so...
No, I don't know. We're different level cool, I guess.
But you know what?
As long as I get a bottle of wine while I'm out there, that could be an interesting podcast. You never know what might come out after.
A drunk Lockie during a podcast episode.
With wine. Oh, that would be nice.
Good Lord. Well, hey, he's got connections to the Rizzuto show, so maybe we do a crossover one day.
True. Well, I've met Moon several times, and I actually had the connection with Moon is a girl who is now an adult, very much an adult, went to college with his wife. So I have that connection. So anytime Moon's out and about, I usually go and see them because I am a Team Res member 2020, just in case I need to drop that.
I think we dropped it like 16 episodes ago.
My kids get so pissed at me because when we went up for Rizzuto night at the hockey game, Sydney was like, "Mom, nobody cares that you are Rizzuto." Well, you know what they do?
It was
they
during
do
COVID.
care.
Nobody cares. Yeah. Well, we're going to get down to business. Sitting here with us today is Samantha Nahlik from Washington County Ambulance District. I've known Sam for probably 5, 6, 8 years now, somewhere in that area. Met her when I lived in the little town of Irondale for you city folk. And we ran quite a few calls together on a department I was on back there with Washco when she was a paramedic on the ambulance. And Lockie works with her, and she's a great person. So let me tell you a little bit about her, and I will let her introduce herself. On Voices of Valor, she is our 16th guest here. We cannot thank her enough for wanting to come and share her side of the story. She's also the paramedic what are you now? I forget. You were the paramedic instructor, but what are you now?
So I was the EMT instructor at MAC. Now I am the director of EMS education at
Okay,
MAC.
there we go.
And then I'm also the director of education for Washington County Ambulance.
Okay, well, if I would have read this, it's right there in front of me, but
In bold letters, by the way.
In bold, so that's probably why I put them in bold, so I wouldn't forget. Welcome to doing a podcast with us, Sam. If you've listened to him before, I can't talk or read or do anything, right? So throughout Sam's career, she's taken many roles, including leadership, community paramedicine, education, and as she just said, she is the director of education for Washington County Ambulance District and the director of EMS education for Mineral Area College, where she is helping shape the next generation of EMS providers, which is a very important role because not everybody is wanting to do that these days. She's passionate about culture change in EMS, which is a very, very big thing for those of you who have not been in EMS. If you don't change the culture, eventually it'll die off, just like the fire service. She loves supporting patients facing mental health and substance abuse challenges, creating more positive and inclusive environments for future clinicians. But beyond the job, Samantha is also a wife and a mother. And if you've met Easton, that's a task in itself. Sweet little boy, but as ornery as can be.
Well, and then you meet Lincoln. And
I
if
have
he
not
is
met
not
Link
his
yet.
father's child, I don't know who is. He is just all over the place. He will come and sit in your lap, though, and you get about 5 seconds with him, but then he moves on to something else that's shiny. But he is absolutely, well, they both are, but that is Devin. I'm sorry, Sam, but that is
I
Devin.
know.
And I mean that in a good way, of course. So.
Well, if you know Devin, you know a lot about this whole family. This is a whole dynamic here.
Yes.
But I have not met Link yet. I've seen plenty of pictures on Facebook.
Is it
though.
Linky? No, what is it you call him?
Yeah, we call him Linky.
Okay, I thought so.
Linky?
That is
Stinky Linky is
There
his
we
name.
go.
Yeah.
So those roles in her life are obviously the most important to her. Sam, thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you for wanting to share your side of the story.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
Are you nervous?
Maybe a little bit.
I ask everybody that. I just think it's a funny question
Well,
to
I
ask
think
at this
everybody
point.
is nervous because I think you don't think anybody wants to hear your story or my story is not important or whatever, but it is. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There are, because Sam has played a lot of roles. I mean, she's done everything,
Yeah.
and to be as young as she is too. So
MIH, right? You've done that as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep, I did that.
that's what Lockie does currently. Lockie was an EMT, and yeah. So we got a lot to talk about today. So Sam, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you first found your way into the EMS world that is a little chaotic these days.
Yeah, so I grew up and lived in Caledonia my whole childhood until I was an adult. I love that place. I'm going to retire there and live on a farm probably whenever I'm old. I love Caledonia. It's my forever home. So after high school, I went to college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. But of course my parents, they wanted me to go to college and become something. So I was taking just general education classes. It was horrible, boring. I hated it. So I was like, okay, I have to do something else. So I was like, what can I do that's technically college, but I'm going to get it done super fast and not have to go to college for 2 or 3 years. So I was like, oh, okay, this EMT program, it's only 1 semester. Kind of was interested in healthcare, so I just did it. And then I ended up absolutely falling in love with it, and then went to paramedic school, which was another almost 2 years. And then I went to critical care, which was another 8 months. So I ended up being in school technically for over 2 years anyway. But just kind of started out my parents wanted me to be something, and I was like, what can I do that I'm something but also get it done super fast? So
you had no family that were in
No.
emergency services or
Nope.
healthcare?
I'm the first person in my family to be in healthcare at all. So.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, you had Amy Carver probably at the time. Was she one of your teachers? And okay, I was thinking it
don't
was you.
think so.
It's Amy Fraley now.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I don't even know how, because this was before I had even met you, which I met
Yeah.
Sam through Sid. That's how I met Sam. And I can remember, she talked about you. You were absolutely one of her
She was such a great
favorites.
teacher. Yes.
And she's so proud of you.
Yeah.
And I remember her talking about you. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I got to meet this person
Yeah.
that Fraley talked about. So you've made an impact in who you are. So, but it was funny because then when I met you, it was like, oh, that's the Sam she's talking about. So.
Yeah, she was an awesome. She was one of my favorite teachers.
Oh, she's a hot mess.
Yeah.
That could be a whole podcast in itself too, but we won't go into that. So.
One thing I just looked top of your paper. One thing I did forget to mention.
And you even asked me if there was more.
Yeah, we're getting rusty on this. We're gonna do it more. Next 3 weeks we're good to go. So we do want to give a huge shout out to all of our dispatchers. This past week was Telecommunicators Week. Cannot thank all of our 911 dispatchers enough. The stress they go through, they truly are the first responders on the scene. They may not be there physically, but they can walk you through how to do CPR and a whole bunch of other things. And just want to give them a shout out and say thank you from Midwest Mayhem. For those of you who don't know, Lockie and I both are back in the service now. We're both firemen again. Yay. Is that a yay thing? Or?
Yeah, I mainly am just going to be the driver and run EMS calls, but that's still a fireman, I guess.
Yeah, well, it sounds like there might be a car wreck out there.
We
Did you hear
might
that?
get to see Brett.
So, again, thank you enough. We wanted to make sure you guys hear that from us. And I know they got quite a few goodies. I know Washco did.
Yeah, we sent quite a bit of stuff over to them.
So, but thank you again. And we're going to continue on. Sorry, Sam, I completely forgot to mention those guys. What originally inspired you to pursue a career as a paramedic? Was it because of EMT and the thrill?
Yeah, I started working as an EMT, and then I was like,
So did you start at Washington County?
yeah, I've been there since day one of my career.
Okay.
Yep. So 10 years I've been there. It's my home. I'm never leaving. They're never getting rid of me. Sorry, Justin. So yeah, I have been there since day one as an EMT.
Okay.
Well, I think this was kind of written in the script when I done Justin's episode. I think from now on, I legally have to ask, did all his employees listen to his podcast episode he did with us just a few weeks ago?
I actually did. Yes.
Did you?
I
Did you
listened
like
to
it?
I loved it. It was great.
It was about almost 3 hours long, and that man is full of all kinds of interesting information and things I had no clue about him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Did you listen to it?
I haven't been able to. I can't just yet. I'm not mentally prepared for. It's probably just a segment, but I'm not to that point that I.
Well,
can
when you
listen to
do,
it.
and I promise you it's very good.
It is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to a couple of times, and I just can't psych myself up to do it.
You'll get there one day.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I got faith in you. So, was there a particular moment early in your career when you realized EMS was truly your calling? What made you say, "Man, this is the job for
I
me"?
made the right decision not to.
Yeah.
So actually, it's kind of a funny story. I wasn't even working as an EMT yet. So whenever I was going through EMT school and after high school, I got a job at the local Walmart as a cashier. That's where I worked before I got into EMS. I had just finished my EMT program. I didn't even have my EMT license yet. And I was working at Walmart one day, and there was this elderly man that always would sit out on the bench in the like breezeway of Walmart. Like every single day, he would just people watch. And they came running in, and they were like, there's something wrong with him. Like, he's not responding. So I go out there, and he's in cardiac arrest.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we get him on the ground. I start CPR. They call 911, and the ambulance responds. And like, I just remember them showing up, and they were like doing their thing. They got him back. They transported him, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, that is fucking awesome. Like, that is what I'm going to do. And they actually got him back, and he lived. He actually just recently passed away within the last probably 2 years. But yeah, I just happened to be there with him. Whenever he was there, he went into cardiac arrest, started CPR, and it was my first ROSC apparent, like legitimately, I guess,
Yeah,
officially,
yeah.
before I even had my EMT license. So
Wow.
it was kind of a cool story to
But
look
you were
back
in
on.
EMT school.
Yeah, I
at
had
the
just
time.
finished EMT
You
school.
just finished it, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So she was in that position of, I just went through the program and passed it, but am I going to pass the state test yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
kind of in the middle, and then that happened, and I'm like, I have to do this. Like, this is what
Yeah.
I want to do. It was awesome.
So then at what point, what led you then to go ahead to be a paramedic then?
I just wanted to be able to do more for patients.
Yeah.
You know, I loved being an EMT, but I wanted to just advance and continue on and get my paramedic license.
I did want to share with you, Lockie, I forgot to tell you earlier, I ran my first call with Big River last Friday, and I got to drive a boo-boo bus on my first call. I got
Yeah.
to drive it to Parkland South.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
yeah.
I know. I sometimes will be driving the fire, because I got to drive one this week to the fire truck or get in the ambulance, and it's just like, yes, I am driving this. It is. I understand what you're saying, because that is such a, well, first of all, I'm a firm believer that you were right God had you right where you needed to be and whatever. And it's just a neat thing that you have that story to tell. And that's, there is no rush or adrenaline, whatever, however you want to call it, like that.
No, for sure.
And there is nothing, I don't even, like, if I would not do this job, I would never be able to find some of those things.
Oh, no.
And I don't get as much as excited, that I did being on the truck. And even then, I've always been kind of a white cloud, but I live it through everybody else. Because
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, you come back, I don't know, that's where the best part is
Yeah,
too.
I agree.
Because you get
Yeah.
to, if you're, because I do know some people that are not that way, but I get just as excited everybody coming back and telling me that story. I just got excited
Yeah.
you telling me that
Yeah.
story. So, because it's exciting. So
Was that Potosi Walmart?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
So it was Washington County Ambulance, and I was like, yeah, I've got to go work with those people. And I did. I eventually,
Yeah.
not too long after that, I did get to work with them.
so that actually takes us to our next question here.
Well, so Hank, real
Yeah, go
quickly.
ahead.
So were you during COVID stuff too? Were you in
Oh,
Sydney
yeah.
and were you in Sydney, Cassandra? That was all your class, or was Sydney?
So I went through paramedic in 2017. So
Okay.
I was already a paramedic during COVID.
Okay, so I know that was we have several of our employees and at other districts as well that because Sid never did an OB clinic, but
Yeah.
yet she's like the queen
Yeah.
stork of
Yeah.
the district.
Yeah.
So because I wasn't sure where you fell with.
Yeah, I was a
them.
couple of years before
Okay.
then. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Tyler.
Oh, no, you're all right.
Yep. I was just curious.
That's why I keep you around, Locke. You ask all the things that I miss.
I'm the undiagnosed adult ADD. So
So you were at Potosi Walmart in Washington County. You lived in Washington County. You go through EMT. You get your EMT's license. Walk us through what it was like in the early years of working in Washington County Ambulance District.
It was definitely different than it is now, for sure.
Did you work out of the old house?
I did not. They had just moved into the new building whenever I got hired there.
Or did you get
so,
lucky?
Yeah, I've heard tons and tons of stories, but I never
Yes.
got to experience it. But I was just a kid back then. My gosh, like I had no idea what I was doing. I was pretty sheltered my whole life up until I left home and graduated college and graduated EMT school. So going from a sheltered girl from little old Caledonia, Missouri, not ever really seeing the world, and then I come get a job in EMS, it's like, oh, okay, wow, this
Yeah.
is
This is a punch in the face.
this is interesting.
Yes.
So the first year really was kind of like a culture shock to me almost, and adjusting to the world, really.
No, and people think that certain things don't happen in little Washington County or St. Francis County. There's a lot that
Yes,
happens.
there is.
And I mean, I was kind of the same way. Well, first of all, I mean, I was late becoming into, EMS. But even at like 42 years old, I didn't realize the things that went on in our county.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize what EMS went through to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing. A lot of people really just truly don't.
No, they have no
know.
idea.
It's not that they don't want to know; they just have no idea.
And I think that's sometimes I sit around and I think of, like, because and you do now too, have a little bit of what I call window time from the time I leave off shift till I get home. And there are times I'll be thinking, what the hell did I just do the last 12 hours? And I always say this to him, I don't mean this in any insulting way at all, but, I'll be at Walmart or Dollar General and, Sally's bitching because she's had to put more bleach out on the shelf. And I'm thinking, but you have no idea what I just did. I just told this man who'd been married to this woman for 65 years that we did everything they could. But you keep stocking that bleach because that's a crisis right there, sister. So, but we need everybody like that. So, well, there was something I was going to ask too about. So did we just have House 1 there? Where we weren't already out in?
So we had House 1 and House 2 were the only two houses
and it
that
was,
we had.
House 2 is where it is now.
And Belgrade didn't
So
exist yet.
I know
No.
pretty much all of our guests have been. Will you tell us where our houses are located?
Sure. So we have our main house in Potosi on 8 Highway there right by Ameren. And then our house 2 is up in the northern end of our county, kind of in Cadet area, in between Potosi and Richwoods. And then we have house 3, which is in Belgrade. And then we have house 4, which is in Centerville and Reynolds County.
And I know when House 3 and growing up there, I know that was a very high
Yes,
demand
it
because
was.
what people didn't realize, you think it's not that far of a trip from, down 21 to get to Caledonia, Belgrade area, but it was. And that is one of the things that people also don't understand about the rural medicine. If we're called, it's legit.
Yes.
And when we have a farming accident, it's legit. It's a farming accident. And so,
farmers don't call unless they're
Absolutely
about
need
to die.
Yep.
right. Well, so how did you handle that? One, you were young. You grew up there. I'm sure there were times that you knew those people. And I don't know. I know that we're going to talk here in the next segment about maybe a particular call or whatever. But how did you handle that?
To be honest with you, I really don't know. Like, I just did it. I mean, whenever you are on a call, your brain just goes to the patient and you just do what you have to do and take care of them. And I really don't know. Like, I almost enjoyed taking care of people I knew just because I knew that I would take care of them. I would do everything that I could for them and treat them like they're my family. Like I would treat if my mom was in the back of my ambulance,
Right.
So I almost liked taking care of people that I knew. That way they knew that they were going to be taken care of. And I think it gave some level of comfort to them
Absolutely.
as well. So I was always okay with taking care
And
of
I know
people
I've had people tell me, I've walked in, oh my God, I'm so glad it's you.
Yes.
Or, and once again, you go back to that, well, I'm just really nobody. But
Yeah.
I mean, and it does. It is and there have been times like with emergencies when my mom and dad were still alive or whatever, I would walk in and I would know who was the crew,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Which it's funny you bring that up because probably 3-4 years ago, I ran a side-by-side accident in the town I lived in. Sam was actually on the truck that night. You know what call I'm talking about? Sam pulls up. Somebody her and I both knew had a side-by-side that liked to go out and be a little wild on it. And before she got there, the description kind of fit who we knew. Sam pulled up and says, "Hey, is that who I think it is?" And we both had the same thought, and it's like, no, it's not. But that's just the kind of things you go through.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was thankful to see Sam that night. But yeah.
Well, and I think that's what I know. I sometimes think, I don't know if I could work in St. Francis County, but I don't know as many people as I used to. But even in Washington County, I mean, I have certain ones that I became familiar with.
Yeah.
They are family, and
Yeah.
especially on the MIH side.
Yes.
Because you literally start day one of
You get attached to those
yes,
people
you
so
do.
bad.
and I mean it is. It's
Yeah.
and I know not all providers do, but you do.
Yeah. For
So
sure. Yeah.
So over the years, you've served in several different roles: leadership, community, paramedicine, and now education. So now you're instructing the people that you learned the exact job 10 years ago doing. How did those opportunities come about between your leadership? You were a captain, right, at one point in time.
Yeah.
You worked in MIH, which is your community paramedicine, education. How did you stumble into all those opportunities?
So that's kind of a big part of my story, I guess, was trying to find my place in EMS. I got into close mentorship with somebody who was really encouraging of me to further my career in leadership. And that's kind of where I thought that I wanted to go. I was literally like 24 years old, so I still had no idea what the hell I was doing. But that person
So-
kind of pushed me to be in a leadership role.
do you think it was a positive push or was it more of a manipulation push?
So I thought it was a positive push until later I kind of questioned literally everything, who I was as a clinician, who I was as a provider, who I was as, a leader because of that. But initially I thought it was a positive push. So I was a captain for a while. And
Now did you have Easton wasn't born yet though when you were
he was, yeah.
okay.
Yep, he was. He was baby.
I don't know how you did that.
It was
I
hard.
really truly don't. I appreciate all three of our captains, and I mean Sid was in the same
Yeah.
situation. I don't know how you all do that. I really it is such a demanding job.
It is.
And being a female, being a mother, being young, I don't know how you do it.
Yep.
I don't.
It was hard on me for my personal life as well. Like, I was young. I was a new mom. I was newly married. Trying to balance everything was nearly impossible. So,
Well, and you guys were still at that point on the truck.
yes, yeah,
Where now, they are,
Yeah.
we're staffed enough that we can, and I'm not going to say they saw the importance, but it is important
Yeah.
for our captains to be off of
Yeah.
the truck.
So it was a lot. And I didn't realize how much it was until I got a little bit older and I looked back and I was like, wow, that was way too much for a 24-year-old to be doing,
Right,
trying to
right.
do. So there were some things that happened and I decided to step down from my position in leadership.
How long were you in the captain's position?
Probably about 2 years. Pretty much through COVID, really. And so
and that was
that
a
was
whole
even
different.
worse. It was a whole different world back then, and back then, not that long ago, but it seems like it was.
No,
seemed
it
like
does.
back then, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it does.
So throw that in there in the mix as well, and I just had to prioritize my personal life over my job. And
Now, it was the district doing 48s at that time? So they had already implemented that. Okay.
So I stepped down as a captain. Took a lot of shit for that. A lot.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
And made me look at my job in a different perspective after I kind of got out of leadership. And that's where I kind of got lost in my career as a paramedic. I knew that I wanted to take care of people, but the other side of that was horrible. Whenever I went to work, I literally would cry going to work because of not my job as a paramedic, but all of the other things that went into that.
The negative side of things will carry over, like, will definitely weigh over you no matter how positive you're trying to be.
Right.
Well, and it is, I know for me, every person that I've had in an authoritative position in EMS literally could be my child. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to say I don't. There have been situations, but if you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it.
Right.
But I could see some of the personalities that were there at the time when you were. I don't know. Like I said, because there are a majority of the adults that I'm sure didn't want to listen to you
Yeah.
because what did you know?
Yeah.
One, you're female.
Yeah.
Two, you're young, and you've only been doing this for how long? And you're telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And I could see where that would, that could destroy you. You
It
are
did.
going to
Yeah.
question every decision
Yeah.
you make.
The culture was so bad for me that
Very toxic.
I almost just got out of the career altogether. Not that I wanted to, but I felt like that was what I had to do in order to take care of myself.
Did you feel like you could go? Did you have anybody that you could talk to and be very vulnerable and transparent about how you were feeling?
Yeah. Devin was that person for me. I mean, he still is, but
Did he get a haircut, by the way?
no.
Good Lord.
This week he is finally.
Yeah.
It's
If he needs
time.
some time off, I'll run him. Just you let me know and I'll take him in MIH4.
That was another kind of part that was hard because we were actually both captains at the time that we started dating. So it was an interesting
I could only
situation.
imagine. Yes.
You guys know. So that was another thing that made everything so negative for me for a while.
Well, yeah, because it was you're doing it at work and having to live work. You go home and you're still living work. Because when you live with somebody that does the same thing, you're going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. We have found a really good balance in that.
And I definitely want to, and we may
Yeah,
need
we
to
got
note
that.
this. That is important because of the divorce rate, different
Yeah.
things like that in our field.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I say unfortunately, that's one of the things I talk to everybody about. It's hard for me to be friends with somebody that's not in this.
Yeah.
They don't know how sick
They
and
don't-
demented we are.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that what we do, and I'm not like I'm trying to be this big EMS hero, whatever, but you don't, because sometimes it is the little things that aren't a big deal. That is because you're dealing with other people. You're literally living.
Yes.
It's like a frat house sometimes. And you are living with other people and you're having to have that dynamic. And then to come home and you're living with the person that you live with in the work atmosphere, it's tough to find that balance.
Well, and on the flip side of that, for those of you who have never been married to a fireman, police officer, paramedic, the at-home part for the spouse that is not in the service is also difficult because they don't understand how it works. The people who are in the service know how it works.
Right.
So that also creates I feel it creates a divider. You almost have to be in the service together to be in a relationship with somebody like that, because there's actually statistics out there that show people that are in EMS, police, fire, and have a spouse that is not, the divorce rate is a lot higher.
It's insane. Yeah.
It's sad.
And I'm just gonna put this out here because I know Cody doesn't really care. So, I mean, Cody and I were married at the time that most of this was going on, like through COVID, all of
Yeah.
that. He was a dispatcher, so
Yeah.
he at the time, so he he got that part of it. But I just think all of the other contributing factors really kind of was a part of why we did get a divorce, just because I felt like I was under so much just stress all the time and couldn't turn it off at home. And I mean, there were other, like Cody and I just weren't each other's person, and that's
Right.
fine. But
Right.
that I truly think that was part of, what contributed to us ultimately getting a divorce.
So go ahead.
Well, now that you mentioned Cody, I'm trying to get him to come do an episode with me, and I'm pushing for it. So if you're listening to this, Cody, come do one with me. If you've ever seen Easton, he looks like he was pulled out of Cody's
yes,
butt.
he is. He's his. Well, both
Poor
of my
Sam.
boys.
I know she.
Both of my boys are their fathers made over. I don't know how I got that,
Yeah.
but they are. Yeah.
Well, okay, so you were in this leadership position, and I mean, I know you did a good job. I know you did.
She
I
did
know,
very well.
And there are a lot of things I could say, and I'm not going to because for reasons. And I've had conversations with you and some of the other girls involved, and I know that, and I'm pretty sure it was you. It may have been Sid. That there was also a time that you had to you felt guilty
Oh yeah. For
because
sure.
you fell into, and I'm going to use the term mean girl
Yeah.
role.
Oh yeah.
Because, and Sydney is an asshole.
No.
And she is.
She
She
is
gets that
not.
from her dad. No, really, she gets that from me.
She's
but
Rocky made over. What are
she
you
is.
talking
But
about?
she's like a way meaner version, which I'm glad because she has been my.
Yeah, but Sydney's the emo mean version. Like she's like
Well,
that
and
death
that's
metal,
what-
heavy,
yes.
just mean.
Go fuck yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't care. But that's what the girls don't get at, like Sam, Sydney, different ones. They've been who I've looked up to because they do handle things so much better than I do. But I remember Sid feeling guilty because I raised her. If your supervisor tells you to stick that cone in your ass, you better get some lube because it's getting up there.
I was raised the same way. So yeah.
And I know that you girls struggled with, you weren't who you were, but you had to do it.
Yeah, I was in the Mean Girls Club, and then I was not, and then the Mean Girls Club was against me, I guess. I don't know how you would put that.
It's almost like being in the mafia.
Yeah.
It's all
When
good.
you're in, you're in. When you're out, you're
you're
out.
dead, yeah.
And what I think is funny as a person that can sit back and say that, one, because, yeah, it is my daughter, but also with Sam. I mean, those kids, when I say I have kids, I literally have thousands of kids, but that's how I am with all the younger people because that's all I have to be around. But they weren't raised that way. But, and I'm not 100% sure where I was going with this, that's the adult ADD. But I mean, I know that was difficult for you all
Yeah.
to be in that situation. And I think, what do you do?
Yeah.
And
Whenever
I don't know which is worse, being the mean girl or being kicked out of the mean girl
Yeah.
club and
Yeah.
suffering that. Because I know you all questioned what you did right. And I'm sure, and I know, and Sid, I'm sorry. I can remember her one time telling me about something and she said, Mom, I did it because that's what I was told to do. And I knew I shouldn't act that way.
Yeah. Whenever you're in it, you don't realize the negativity that you are literally spraying with the biggest fire hose you can possibly imagine.
Well,
And then whenever you're out of it, it's like, oh my God.
Was I really that person?
Yeah. Like, holy crap, I was a horrible person.
I
to
feel
people.
you.
yeah.
And so whenever I was out of it, I did a lot of self-reflection. I had so many people that, there's probably still people that, I owe an apology to for sure. Had a lot of mending of relationships that I had to work on with my coworkers. And thankfully, they understand and they have accepted that
Well,
apology.
and I
but
think that, I mean, they know who they can manipulate and take and you girls were vulnerable to that.
Oh yeah,
Although,
we were young.
I mean, you both know, both of you can stand your grounds, but you have that foundation that was built through your family. But people like that know exactly what they can do.
And so because of that, that's whenever I started to kind of question, like all of that kind of happened at the same time. And that's whenever I stepped away from my leadership role, and I was just kind of questioning, like, where can I go from here? Where do I go from here? I had no idea. Like, I thought that was it. Like, I thought that I was going to be in that leadership role until I retired.
So you stepped out of the leadership role. Then what made you go to the MIH side? Was that to take a break from what was going on? Because
Yeah.
I've not talked to you about
Yeah.
that. I don't know that story.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave the district because I knew that was my home. That's where I wanted to be. I wanted it to be better. So I felt like maybe if I could step away from the 911 side, but still stay with the district, there was just
Because
an
I'm
opportunity
assuming that
for
the MIH, when you were there, that was still when it was
It was pretty
being
new,
introduced.
Yeah, it
and
was
things
just
like
me
that.
and Buck. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, Buck and I were the only 2 community paramedics at the time.
And so kind of explained it. I mean, I know I've talked a little bit about it, but kind of explain that to our listeners, because you went from working 48-hour shifts that you were go, 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 emergency, 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 911, pick mama up out of the floor, to what do we do with mobile integrated health?
So it was a hard transition for me because of that aspect. I went to a Monday through Friday job where, you know, I would see 1 or 2 patients a day, and that would be it, and I would go home. The pace was a lot slower. I did enjoy spending that one-on-one time with the patients, but it was almost like it was almost like I just completely quit, and I didn't have that adrenaline like we were talking about earlier. Like I just couldn't get that fix.
The satisfaction. Yeah, it's like a drug.
Yes.
Well, and it's that nervous system.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And so I think mobile integrated healthcare is an amazing program, and it, you know, it's helped so many patients. You know, meeting them where they are and taking care of their needs, not just in the emergent moment. Do you have water? Do you have food in your pantry? Do you have all your medications? Do you need a ride to the doctor's office so you can get your refills and get your blood work and see your doctor? I think it's a great program for patients. It just, at the time, the difference was hard for me because I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like,
That's how it was when I left the fire service. I'm like, I would be sitting in my living room. I no longer have a pager, and I'm like, when's Tones gonna drive? Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. I'm not
Yeah.
in this anymore.
I didn't have to be in that fight or flight mode 24/7 anymore.
But there's a different emotional connection in MI, and that's because I remember Tony and I talking about it, and he said, you know, you're going to get a different, because I know that you're the caregiver, that I mean, you're
Passionate.
very passionate about it. And it is different because you're on the EMS side, you're from whatever address to potentially Mercy South with that patient. We may never know the outcome.
Right.
But in MIH, like you said, you meet them right where they are, and sometimes you meet them at their last breath.
Yeah.
And, you know, you also see, especially if you did the drug and alcohol stuff, you see they're happy, healthy, and they're living and thriving to, we had a slip up, we're right
Yeah.
back into our
Yeah.
addiction. And it's a totally different emotional
It is. Yeah.
play on you. And I agreed with Tony. I was like, yeah, I can see that. But it is. And you go from that, because I know I get excited sometimes because I can still hear everything going on the MIH side. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could go. Or that's so-and-so. I haven't seen them in a while. You know, so it's completely different. So are you good with how I'm taking some of these right out of the way? Okay. So then you're in MIH. What was your next step?
So.
And when did you realize that I'm not thriving in this? I need more.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't really remember. I just think I got to the point where I do remember. I had just still felt like that wasn't my calling. Like I did enjoy it. I did enjoy getting to know those patients, and some of them I got attached to. One lady in particular who I still miss, and whenever I hear her name, I'm like, tell her I said hi, because I loved her so very much. But it just felt like this is not what I want to do with my career. So I actually found another job, and I was going to give my 2-week notice. And that's kind of when Justin sat down with me and was like, okay, I really don't want you to go, but if you feel like you need to, I understand. I did not want to go at all, like at all. And then some other things happened, and I decided to stay. And then I just went back to working a 48-hour shift. I just went back to the truck. And
how old was Easton at that time?
he was 4, almost
Okay.
5. And then right after I got out of MIH is when I got pregnant with Lincoln. So,
What a terrible time to get pregnant.
oh, yeah.
Going right back to the truck.
Well, and Sam was one of all but probably me that was not that all these girls were pregnant. How many
Yeah.
babies did we have?
Oh, my gosh. We,
Like
we
15?
had like a
Winry,
big
Lincoln,
baby boom.
Who? I mean, there was like 5 or 6.
There was 5 or 6. There was me, Sid, Sandra, Ivana, and then I think a couple of the guys, Caleb, Elijah Gers. There was like
Cody.
7 of us. There was
Yeah.
tons of us that all were having babies in the same year.
Which
so.
that is my.
Was there like a group party one night?
Apparently,
Well,
we all
I
drank
always-
the water or
Yeah,
something.
that's what
you know?
I started bringing Bismarck water because I was not going to drink the water those girls were drinking. That's my ultimate thing. If I could run the daycare,
That's
I
what we're
would
gonna
ram
do.
those babies so hard over there. I would just love that, and I'd be right there at House 1. We'd have our own little house out in the back. It'd be Graham's house. You come see those babies, do what you need to, but Graham
We
will
always
take care of
joke, Unky Dunky's daycare.
them. Yep, absolutely. I would so be that. Oh, and that is one thing. I don't know how you girls balance that. I really, truly don't.
Yeah, that's whew.
Because
Yeah.
you know, I was so late in the game. Mine were then following me doing the same thing I'm doing now, but I don't know how you girls do that. I really don't.
Yeah. You have to have a good support system at home. Like, that's a huge...
Well, and since Cody doesn't mind, did I know you guys, there were issues, but do you think that was one of the things? I mean, Cody was doing the dispatcher thing, which is and he's
Yeah.
a man. Sorry, Tyler, but men are just different too.
Yeah.
But did you have support? I mean, did you feel like you could?
So we were both kind of doing our own things. Like, while he was a dispatcher, he also decided that he wanted to go through the law enforcement academy.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right.
Because of that, like, he had to drop down to working part-time, and he
Yeah.
was going to the academy literally, I want to say it was all day. I know it was 5 days a week, and it was like all day for like 6 months or 7 months. So, my mom was my saint during all of those
And that's
times, and
just
she
it.
still is.
I
But
mean,
you
how
know,
do you know?
Yeah.
Because I know just me when I was a teacher with the kids, I had a lot of guilt. But I mean, and not to really open your can of worms here, but you know, your marriage ended, so you had that guilt with a young child. Then you had I worked 48 hours with a young child. How did you handle that? And did you have the guilt? Did you
Oh, yeah.
suffer from postpartum?
oh, 1,000%, it was horrible.
Was it
for me.
recognized? Did you know that it was postpartum?
Yes, but I was too stubborn to do anything about it, you know. But oh yeah, 1,000%. It was.
So we're back on the truck and the education. What led you to teach?
So I've always, in some capacity, taught for the last probably 5 or 6 years. I started out just as adjuncting for.
Which is probably extra money because for people who don't know, if you work in EMS, you have to have other jobs. You can't work just that
Yeah.
job. You have to work at 14 other districts part-time, have
Well-
8 part-time jobs and everything. You just can't. And now to survive, you can't, to pay daycare and whatever else.
And
So
in today's society, have you seen gas prices?
well, I'm not even going to go there. I got vomited in Roy's parking lot.
I don't work
yesterday.
at EMS. I work somewhere else, but I'm gonna have to like make an OnlyFans for myself or something. This is
I'm
getting
telling
rough.
you, I've
It's getting rough, man.
considered it. So
Please don't use the Midwest Mayhem logo, whatever you do.
shoot. So I don't know where that
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah. So that, and I too believe that some of you guys are just really good teachers, and I know that you are. So, so the education.
Yeah.
What led you to that?
So I had always done adjuncting here and there,
Okay.
and then I kind of started filling in the classroom, like a little bit off and on whenever they would need somebody. Probably the thing that really sparked my passion for education was whenever I was on the truck and I would have paramedic students, especially in their capstone phase. So kind of for people who don't know, when you go through paramedic school, you have to do tons and tons of ride-along clinicals on the ambulance as you're going through. And then your last semester of paramedic school is primarily you're just riding on the ambulance and that's it. So that's what we call our capstone phase, where, you get put with one person, one paramedic, and you're with them for 50 patient contacts. It's like 20 shifts, like 12-hour shifts, like 17 or
You're
18
basically
shifts.
free labor.
Yeah, it is. It's free labor. And I'm just there to make sure that you don't murder somebody, basically. But otherwise, you're on your own. So I had the opportunity to have some amazing capstone students.
Would you like to name any in particular?
Dawson Cohen. Shout out,
Daw.
Dawson. I
Yeah.
love you forever. You're
Yeah.
amazing. And I also had some other good ones. Renee Murphy was one of my students.
Which Renee had her first day back on the truck.
Oh, yay.
Friday, maybe Thursday or Friday. She's
Yeah.
back and getting things figured out.
I am so proud of her too. She actually reached out to me a while back about a patient that she had, and she was like, "Remember when you taught me that?" And I mean, she was in paramedic school like 4 years ago, probably 3-4 years ago. So to know that, I taught them something that they remember, and her messaging me really made me smile, because she was just like, it was something that I honestly forgot that I had taught her, but it was something that she remembered.
Well, I think that's
so.
what's neat. In all of these different roles you've had, you've made an impact and probably didn't know it.
Yeah,
You'll make an impact just with this episode today.
I hope so.
I truly believe it.
Yeah.
Sam's
Yeah,
a
I
very
hope so.
good,
Yeah.
a very good educator. She taught a couple of CPR classes at the department I was on. I want to say you were an adjunct at one point in time when I was in EMT school.
Probably so. I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm almost
Yeah.
certain you were, because
Yeah.
who the instructor was at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so. Very,
Well,
very.
there are just some of them. They just have a gift to teach, and they're not. And once again, I mean, I know I'm like totally inflating your heads here by doing this, but I also think that's important, that
Yeah.
people need to hear that they are good providers and good teachers. These kids that are doing this, you would never hear them say, "Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a paragod," the phrase we use whenever somebody thinks they are, and they usually are shitty. You girls and boys never do that. I have never heard any of you inflate
Boast.
yourself, or they stay very humble in everything they do.
I tell you what, these guys over here in Washington County, some of the calls that they have had in the last 5 years deserve to be called paragods, and some of the things that they've had to see, witness, do, just some very rough calls in the last 3 to 5 years, I would say. Before we move to our next, that'll kind of take us into our next segment. I do have one thing I want to run by you, Sam, since you are the head person over at the Mental Area College over there. We had somebody at the free mental health seminar bring up a really good idea to us, and I'm going to do this with St. Francis County as well, and I'm going to invite you guys as well. We talked about taking a student before they go into EMT school, having them do an episode with us during EMT school, and then once they're on the truck.
That'd be awesome.
Come like a 1, 2, like 3 parts basically.
Well, and I want to say, and I don't care if they put me out with a pair of scissors cutting weeds out in the yard. I'm retiring from Washington County
Yeah.
Ambulance.
Oh, me too. For
Whether
sure.
Justin likes
Justin's
it or
never
not,
getting rid
he's
of me.
never me either. And I want to commend you all. I spent Friday with the 1033 Foundation, and I'm going to bring him up because that little fucker is going to get brought up every day. I promised his mom this. So a positive of Ashton committing suicide brought awareness to the program.
Oh, for sure.
And it was amazing because, well, one of the young men, he was, Miss Branson, can I leave? I have to be back at the high school by 2:00. The kid's still in freaking high school. I think he's like a junior, maybe.
Wow. I was sad I had to miss that.
And you all
I
are.
was too. I would really wanted to
It
go.
was. It was.
I had to
I could
work.
have been there longer. And he said, because even these kids. I mean, I was like, this is the generation that we're talking. These kids opened up. They talked about the mental health. That one young man, the one that had to be back at high school. He said, I just, how do I talk to people? I don't know. And for you all to be presenting that to these kids, because there is not an 18, 19-year-old kid that should see
No.
some of the stuff that we see.
Yeah.
See, hear, do.
Yeah, and I mean, even just dealing with other human beings, but I cannot commend you all enough on bringing that to these
Yeah.
kids, because that's where, and I know using Michael's ending the stigma,
Yeah, breaking the stigma.
breaking the stigma, that is what you're doing.
Yep.
That's a huge part of what I am so very intentional about as an instructor. I will sit down. I've sat down with every single EMT class that I've been the instructor. There's like a half of a chapter that we cover about
Yes.
mental health,
Yeah.
taking care of yourself.
But there should be a lot more.
But and I tell them, you guys are kids. There are kids in there, 18, 19-year-olds, still in high school. And I'm like, you guys are going to see things not to scare you or not to
No, it's
make you nervous, but like I'm just upfront and honest with them about, our brains are not meant to see the things that you're probably going to see within your career. You may even see them on clinicals. Like I can't control what's gonna get dropped in your lap whenever you go on your first ambulance clinical.
And the best thing that you can say for that, there's a book way and there's a real life way. Now, some people will take that the wrong way, but when it comes to seeing things, yeah, in the book, you handle it this way, you do it this way, but the second you see it, your brain goes somewhere completely different.
Yeah. And I'm very open with them about those topics. Like, and we have a lot of really good resources, and I make sure that I share that with them. And I try to make it an environment in the classroom and me as an instructor to where if and when they see those things, that they're going to be comfortable coming to me and saying, hey, I had this really bad call. Can I get some help? And that's happened,
Well, and I think too that from what I gathered, it's not just the guts and glory of the calls. I mean, you all are very, you do run a person that has that is the elderly or whatever. I mean, it's not just, it's the things that you don't think.
Yeah.
Because I know, for me, I had one call in particular. He was one of our frequent flyers. We're taking him out in the stair chair, and he goes into cardiac arrest. I couldn't even look at a stair chair. And most people are like, that's freaking you out? Yeah. Just like earlier, whenever that sound of, what'd you guys say it was a Windows or whatever, the sound that was coming from the computer?
Oh, the Windows sound?
Yeah, I don't know but I mean, I got tightening in my chest because there was some type of trigger that had for me.
Yeah.
But, I think it's so important for these kids, and even because you guys have adults that are in the program too, that are second career people. I commend you all for doing that.
Yeah.
And I do believe that any of those kids could come to you and speak to you. And there are so many resources. And that's one thing. And I say it every time we do this. If we can save one,
Yes.
that's all we have to do.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't think about until Sam said what you just said, not only are we doing this for current first responders and the public that doesn't understand the job we do, I never thought about the kids that are going into EMT school. They can listen to one of our episodes because some of the things we've talked about in them and learn so much.
Right.
You look at Dale's episode, look at Maddie Benson's episode, or Tommy Hill's.
Yeah.
You want to get a feel for real life experience from people right here where you live, where you're going to school, listen to this podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
I just now thought about that.
Well,
Thank you,
and
Sam.
that is, I think that's one of my biggest things, that this heals me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had a old salty paramedic, retired, tell me, I was part of that mentality of suck it up, buttercup. And we're reaching out to these old salty paramedics
And saying, hey, come talk to us.
and they're made aware.
Yeah.
And because if we aren't healthy and taking care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. We can't. And that's one thing. And I know, I say, I don't know how many times I've said this about Devin. And Devin's a turd, and we all know that. But I love that boy. One, because he will always bring me coffee. I don't even have to ask. Most of the time, I don't even have to pay for it. He brings me coffee. But there were times I just went in and I said, Devin, I don't think I can work tomorrow. I just need a mental health day. There was not any, well, no, you can't. We don't have anybody. All right, I'll get right on it. There's never been any question about that. Devin is always one I felt like I could go and talk to about that. My most recent going off the rail, starting to go off the rails, I messaged Justin, I'm not in a good place. The first question was, is this a crisis? I mean, it wasn't ignored. It wasn't suck it up. It wasn't, no, you're fine. You're perimenopausal. No, there was nothing. Now, we may joke about it now,
Right.
and that's okay. But I bringing the light and shining the light on it, because like we said Friday, talking about it doesn't cause it, it prevents it.
Right. That's something that has made me super passionate about shining that light and changing that culture and trying to break that stigma. Was kind of like that retired salty paramedic. I experienced that that part of
The
it.
burnout. Yep.
The
And we've
suck
talked
it
about
up,
that.
buttercup, like
You had leadership.
you have 30 minutes to cry, and
Yep.
then you better get your ass back on this truck and go on with your day.
I'm pretty sure I've heard that in person before.
And so now that I'm in this position to where I have the opportunity to reach these kids that are starting their career and kind of raising them up into a different type of culture, is something that I'm really proud of to do.
Yeah.
You should be proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
You know,
Sam. Absolutely.
Because that's how we just have to do it. We just have to raise these new providers to start changing that culture and breaking that stigma. So
Yep.
Well, and I think what I admired about this young man saying what he did, he admitted to a weakness he had. I used to not be this way because I always thought I had to do it. And in fact, I just had a conversation this morning. There are times I've had to suck it up and go do the job. But he was very open with the fact that this is my weakness. And I don't have that problem. A lot of people get uncomfortable when you say, yeah, I can't do that. No, I'm okay. I'd much rather, because that's what people, I don't think understand. I think it's better now, but in EMS, I don't have time to not understand something.
Right.
It's someone else's life. If you don't know how to work the BVM,
Seconds.
you better fucking figure it out, because you don't have any time to figure it out right now.
Yep.
And that's one of the things I always tried to tell the younger people that came in and doing ride-alongs or whatever. If you don't know, please tell us.
Yes.
Don't stand there and try to be, John Wayne this. Tell us what you don't know. You're not. I've had people make me feel like I was absolutely stupid for asking.
Yeah.
But majority of the time, it's not been that way.
Right.
And the bad part is, no matter how hard we all work together to change this stigma, to break it, to end it, you're going to have that handful of people that are, we've always done it this way. We're going to continue to do it this way. You're soft. You don't belong here. And that right there is what's killed the fire service. That's what is going to kill EMS if we don't change it. Police, it's going to kill all of it. You should not have to go home, think about the call you just ran, and deal with it alone.
Right.
And deal with it
Absolutely
alone
not.
with thinking, I need to not be here anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
I always say that 90% of my job as an instructor is teaching people, most of these kids, how to even just be an adult and function in the real world. Because, you know, they come from high school and now they're in college, and the career that they've chosen is, you know, I emphasize and I put so much importance on, like, we're learning how to take care of another human being's life. Like, this is so very important. And I always try to emphasize the weight that has. And I always teach them as if they're going to be the one coming and taking care of my kid or my family. And I tell them that, you know.
And it very well could happen
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. And so 90% of being an EMT instructor is instilling those types of values and those things in those kids. And then the other part is teaching them how to
do it.
do a skill, right?
Well, and I think that that's where a lot of people, yes, we have the head-on collision or the 16-year-old cardiac arrest, but honestly, majority of our job is just sitting back there with somebody. I tell everyone, loneliness is an epidemic right now.
Oh, for
Whether
sure.
you're 12 years old or 112 years old. And sometimes just that compassion of sitting there in the CPR seat or on the bench and, oh, so tell me, you know, what did you do whenever you were a young lady or a young man to a 90-year-old person?
Yeah.
That's all that you have
Yep.
to do sometimes. That's all you have to do is simple human kindness.
Yep.
All that other stuff is just the fun stuff
Right.
that gets
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you know. But that's
Yeah.
all it is that compassion, that empathy. And that is one thing I always say. I treat the person, first and foremost, they are a child of God. But then they are someone's child. They are someone's mother, aunt, brother, sister, whatever.
Yep.
And I don't care if you live in the biggest house in Washington County or the shittiest little box in Washington County, you are going to get the same treatment. Because, and I always say, and I know they say whenever you get into a life change of what I'm having, you do seek that spiritual side, whatever it might be. But we're literally we're God's hands here on earth at that point. And that's whether we're treating a person as a decent human being or literally trying to save their life.
Yep.
I get on my rant with these students around whenever we start talking about mental health and substance use. And I always get on and this may come up later, my tangent on, you know, I don't care if they are the richest person that you're ever going to encounter or if they're a prisoner that you're picking up or if you pick them up underneath a bridge, you should treat them all the exact same way.
That's the janitor and CEO theory.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if it is my age, but I know at any point that could have been me. I could have had some type of an accident or a bad situation and started out with pills and then got into meth, got into fentanyl. I could have done that. That could be me at any point. And that's why I always, and it breaks my heart, the people that I've sat in the back of the ambulance with and thanked me for being nice to them.
It's sad.
You should never thank me
Yeah.
for being nice
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
And I have one patient, her mom, and she's an adult woman, said to me, she really likes you because you treat her like a human being, not an addict.
Yeah.
And I mean, I sat in there, they were smoking like 15 cigarettes. Any whole hand that could hold his finger that could hold a cigarette, they all were. I was down on my knees, sitting there all comfortable, just like girlfriends sitting around talking. And and we had a very candid, because I was like, I don't know how y'all live this lifestyle. To me, it's a lot easier for me to get up to go to work. But I said, at any point, I could be an addict. I could be whatever. I mean, you have to take that into consideration. And I think there is such a misconception with the kids, and I'm not going to blame video games. I think that's the most asinine stuff in the world.
Thank you.
There is a lack of, and I think it is the frontal lobe not developed or whatever, but there is a little bit of a, what is reality and what's not. And I think it's good to, I mean, it's going to be reality.
Yeah. Yeah. I always try to be open with them about that. Like, you know, this is going to be your reality. And again, it's not to scare them. It's
No,
not to.
no.
You're doing your job.
Yeah. Like, it's to say, like, you're going to go on a call and it's going to be a baby that's in cardiac arrest. And you're going to have to take what you learned in this class and
Put it to use.
put it to use.
Well, and I think one of the most impactful, and I think it was Rita Pearson or whatever. She came and spoke when I was still a teacher. And another thing that is important is that the way I was raised, my set of standards isn't the same set of standards necessarily. I'm going to pay my bills versus collecting change for cigarettes. And I know I can remember sitting there thinking, wow, I never thought about, this parent would rather buy cigarettes than school supplies.
Yeah.
And you can't have that mentality
Right.
either.
Right. Yeah. That is something too kind of interesting that I learned as an instructor, like seeing these kids come in from, and they're not all kids, but most of them are, from all of these different backgrounds. And they look at me like I have 5 heads on the first day whenever I say, at the end of this class, you guys are all going to be best friends and family, and this is going to have like a lasting impact on you for the rest of your life, whether you stay in EMS or you don't. And then by the end, they're like, oh yeah, Mrs. Nahlik, like you totally were right. We are one big family.
I know Hallie mentioned something about that Friday.
Yeah.
And she's, I was a butthole, how she is. I was like, girl, I mean, it's such a different thing to be. It is a family, and I mean, we fight and carry on. You all know that.
Well, I told them they're going to be one big, happy, dysfunctional
Yes, we
family.
put
they're
the
gonna
fun in
be
dysfunctional,
They're going
that
to be
is for
a
sure.
family with the emphasis on dysfunctional, and they all look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, no, you guys really.
You don't understand. Give me some time.
Yeah, we'll get there, but
Well, we've talked about your leadership, your motherhood, the toxic leadership that you've worked under and managed to push through to continue to stay in this job, and not only stay in the job, but educate the people coming into. I want to talk about some things that developed you into the paramedic you are, the instructor you are, the leader that you were. We're going to get into a little bit of the tear-jerking section here. But it's the calls that stick with you, and I always name the segment that because it is the calls that stick with you. I have them, Lockie has them, you have them. I want to talk about just a call in particular, if you have one in mind, that shaped you into who you are, that made you think, wow, just kind of hauled off and kicked you in the face type of deal.
there were actually a couple. It's kind of weird. The EMS universe has a way of, or God, EMS gods, whatever you want to believe in, has a way of knowing what you're going through in your life almost, or the situations that you're in, or so whenever I was pregnant with Easton, there were actually a couple of calls that kind of changed me. The first one, and also made me kind of passionate about the substance use patients. I was newly pregnant, I was still in my first trimester. I wasn't very far along. And we got called for childbirth. We get there, it's like a rundown house, and we go inside, and it was cold. I remember it was cold outside. We go in, and there's this young girl. She's probably my age, around my age at the time. And she had delivered a stillbirth baby. She was on, I don't know what substance. She was substance use. She had no prenatal care, didn't really want to be pregnant. And she was just kind of like, yeah, like it's in there on the bathroom floor.
Wow.
Oh.
And me and my partner were like, oh, okay. So, we take care of we get the mom on the stretcher, and my partner goes in the bathroom and gets the baby. And I just remember, like, she was probably, the baby wasn't viable, but it was close. Like, we could see the gender, all of that stuff.
Wow.
And we wrapped it up, and I was going to give it to the mom, and I'm like, would you like to hold the baby? And she's just like, no.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So we have this stillborn baby, like,
Now, can you explain to those who don't know what stillborn is? Can you explain that?
so the baby passes away inside mom, and then mom delivers the baby.
And you said the baby was viable or was not?
Was not viable.
Okay, so explain that too. To our-
So the baby was too small she wasn't far enough along to sustain. The baby was not far enough along to sustain life, essentially. Even if we would have like done CPR or intubated, like it wasn't developed enough to survive outside of the womb. So it was close, but it would have. And I honestly don't know how long she had delivered it whenever they eventually called. So we had this stillborn baby wrapped up in this towel, and it's like, she doesn't want to hold it. So what do we do with it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we have to take it with us, obviously. And I just remember she just kept being like, can you get me some pain medicine? I just want some pain medicine.
Wow.
She was an IV drug user.
Oh,
So I remember we sat there forever trying to get an IV on her to give her some pain medicine. And asked her a couple more times, do you want to hold the baby? No, don't want to. So my partner knew that I was pregnant. So she was like, I'll ride in the back with this one, you can drive. And I remember I cried the whole entire way to the hospital because, like, here I am carrying a baby, and I couldn't even imagine that happening and me being like, no, I'm good.
So when you have that type of situation, because I've heard you girls talk about this, being pregnant, and if you are on a situation like that, or obvious pregnant, and something happens and you have to go tell the mother, how do you handle that, Sam? I mean, seriously, that's the stuff that, because you can't hide your big belly when you're going in to tell this mom that the baby's gone. How do you handle that? What do you do? And in that situation, what did you do?
I think you just have to remember that you just have to show those people compassion, and you have to be kind to them, and, say, I'm sorry.
Well, and then how do you, because then I would be angry with whatever higher being you believe in, because why did this mother choose that? Why did you put me to be obviously in this situation?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Yeah. How did you handle that? I mean, seriously, how did you know that you were going to have this child?
Yeah. It was hard. I really don't remember. But looking back now with the experiences that I've had and things that I've gone through, I kind of now understand better the state or the place that mom was in, as a substance use person, and kind of probably all of the things that she was going through at the time. So just trying to find that compassion and just remembering that, another human is just going through something different than what you are, and trying to understand that.
The emotions, you're going to have different anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? I mean, there's so much that goes along in that.
Yeah. And then, like I said, the EMS gods just know what you're going through. So the other one that really sticks out, I had Easton. I was back from maternity leave for a very short time, probably not even a month. And we got dispatched for a pediatric full arrest. So obviously I was like, oh great, I have this brand new baby at home, here we go. So, and it was actually my first pediatric full arrest that I had ever had to top it off. So I was
Yeah, that's even
postpartum.
worse. Yeah.
I was postpartum, just got back from maternity leave, left my baby overnight, and here I'm going to, this cardiac arrest. So it was, I mean, nothing really was sticking out to me, like, in the moment. Like, we were just doing our thing. We worked the child. We transported to the hospital. I was fine. We were doing our thing. We get to the hospital. Mom comes in the room, and they're like, we're working her baby. And they're like, you can talk to them, blah, blah, blah. And she says the baby's name.
Ugh.
And
Oh,
it's
no.
the same as my baby same name as my baby who's at home.
Oh.
And that's not a common name.
Nope. And so I just remember,
Wow.
I was like, I have to get out of this room.
Oh my gosh, Sam. Ugh.
Like, I cannot be in here anymore.
You should have warned me about this one.
Sorry. So I just had to walk out of the room because I was like, I cannot be in there anymore.
Well, and that's where you talk. I think that's where EMS God, whatever you believe in, it's almost like oh, my job's done here.
Yeah.
I got to go transition.
Yeah.
So with those calls, do you think that it would have been different had you not dealt with the mother? That you would have just strictly had the baby? For example, in that one, mom never came into the room. Mom never called the child by
Probably.
name. Okay.
Yeah, probably so. But that connection of
That
that
is-
personal connection, sort of, I guess, if that's what you want to call
yeah.
it, really just smacked me in the face. And I was like,
That I don't even have words, and that's not very common for
and then it
me
was
to-
kind of like torture after that, because then we ended up getting the child back. So then, we were at a hospital that didn't have the capabilities to take care of a child
Right.
that size. So then we had to drive the child to St. Louis.
Oh, wow.
So we were literally on this call for probably total 6 hours.
Oof.
So, after that happened, then I had to continue to take care of this child that I then knew personal connection to. And it was hard.
How did they? So now we do debriefs
Mm-hmm.
and different things like that. What did they do for you? Or did you even go in and tell anybody? Did you call Cody? What
No.
did you do?
So I told Cody, obviously, after I had gotten home from shift, but this is probably going to make you mad. I was told we have an hour and a half to drive back from St. Louis. You can cry then, and then you're done.
Yep.
So,
Why does that not surprise me?
yeah. So there was no, and then that was that. We went back and,
That was still in the "you're tough, get over it" era. That sounds about right.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that's ignorant, and that person has no right to ever be a leader of anyone.
So that's one that kind of made me say, I don't want that for anybody else
And
ever.
No.
So,
this stops with me.
yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Now, on the flip side of all of this, do you have a call that just stands out to you that says, "Man, that call just was it the Walmart call that just a call in EMS when you actually were licensed before the
Yeah.
Walmart or after the Walmart call there? Do you have a call that just stands out to you that says, "This is why I do the job that I do"?
I don't really know if it's a call in particular, but there is a particular patient. She was she had substance use
Is she
disorder.
at one of our local facilities?
I don't know.
Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where she is. No.
Okay.
And she was a younger girl, probably maybe my age, a couple years younger. Her mom was in healthcare, and she would call us because this patient was in, a drug-induced psychosis. Like, we went there one time, and this patient was climbing the walls of the bathroom, like, actively just, like, in psychosis from methamphetamine. And we took care of her. I mean, we would run her all the time. And I always felt so bad for this person's mom, because she knew she needed help, but and she was in healthcare, so it was her child,
The parental denial.
Yeah. And so this patient ended up pregnant, got clean, had her baby. She lives with her mom now. I have seen her on, a couple of other occasions on calls. But she's clean. She's
That's
got her
awesome.
baby.
That's great.
She's happy. She's not, stuck in that addiction anymore. And so it's a good thing to see those patients come out of that.
And I think that's one thing that people don't understand too. And I mean, it's in like St. Louis too, but our rural areas, just the cycle. I mean, I can remember, and I knew it went on because I worked in Iron County first, but going into a home where grandmother, sometimes great-grandmother, grandmother, mom, daughter, or son, and I'm like, this is 3 or 4 generations. And I mean, I can remember one that had a big impact. The child was expecting a child, so we're like 4 or 5 generations, and they're drinking and smoking marijuana, and I'm thinking, what? Why is this not stopped?
Yeah.
But that's where I think, once again, you were where you needed to be, and you were an influence on that person and helped her get to that point.
Yeah.
And she did, in fact, save one life.
Yeah. Well, 2,
Oh, yeah, too.
really.
Yeah,
With
that's true.
a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're going to do one more question. I think we're going to take a commercial break right after this. But how do you process those difficult calls that still come back and still come back to the next shift ready to go after you've ran like the stillborn call?
I don't know. I just always have been able to kind of process things on my own. I don't really know. I guess I just got the lucky gift of being able to process those emotions.
Well, and you're in a different situation now because I know in the last few months, you guys have been, your office where you are in our building has been kind of the hub of the debrief or one call I can think of in particular. You know, was it second or whatever guilt too of like you're not part of it,
Yeah.
but you are part of
Yeah.
it. How do you handle that now?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you had being there and coming back and, you know, our hour and a half drive, suck it up. You can cry then and then get back. But how do you do with absorbing what we come in and tell you about?
I don't know. I don't know, this might sound weird. I almost, not enjoy, but like, I almost feel like I feel okay. Like I want to be that person for people. I think because I didn't have it, so I want other people to be able to have it, and I want to be that person for them. I don't know if it's just because of my experience and like it bothers me, but I know how to process and try to help the others going forward. I don't know. I don't really
there's
have
some
like
type
a
of saying. I know my niece had me write it out in my handwriting. Be the person that you needed when you
Yeah.
were younger, and
Yeah.
that's you're now in that
yeah,
spot.
yeah,
Where 10 years ago, Sammy Joe that had never left Caledonia, was
Little old
dealing
Sammy
with,
Joe.
right, was dealing with that and didn't have anybody. But
Yeah.
now, I mean, they're so lucky to have you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a huge, and I'm doing my best not to cry because I have been such a tit bag the last 2 weeks. But I mean, that's such growth and so neat that now you are being the person that you needed.
yeah. That through everything, that's kind of how I feel like I've found my place and my passion is to be the person that I needed.
You being put through all the toxic leadership, the just toxic environment that you were in, puts you where you need. That's what built you to be an educator.
Yeah.
And I think that's just us as human beings in general. You know, I think about stuff I've been through, and I know with this, you're solidifying this. We question, why did I have to go through it?
Yeah.
But this is why you
Yeah.
had to go through it.
Yep.
Because you are changing lives.
And
Whether it's patients, students, coworkers, you're changing someone's
and
life.
to me, that just makes everything that I went through worth it, so that I can
Yeah.
be in the spot that I am now.
That's one hell of an attitude to have for sure. So with that, I think we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to hear a great word from our awesome sponsors, Frontline Armory, Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen, Fire Lake Winery. Cannot thank all of them enough for supporting the podcast and keeping this thing going. If it wasn't for them, I don't know how we do it, Locke. So you're going to hear a great word from all of them. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We're sitting here with Sam Nahlik, guest number 16 here on Voices of Valor, and we'll be right back after the commercial break.
Attention Potosi, there's a new mission in town, Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen. This veteran-owned coffee shop isn't just about caffeine, it's about community. From rich espressos to hearty meals, every order fuels a story, yours, ours, and the heroes we honor every day. Step inside and you'll find more than just a cup of coffee. You'll find a place where veterans, first responders, and locals come together shoulder to shoulder. So whether you're starting your morning patrol, catching up with friends, or needing that midday refuel, Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen has you covered. Located at 205 East High Street in Potosi, Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen, where service never sleeps and every cup counts. Hey Mayhem Militia, it's your host Tyler here from Midwest Mayhem Podcast. Looking for the perfect place to unwind, relax, and get away from every day? You've got to check out Fire Lake Winery. Located at 12902 East State Highway 47 in Cadet, Fire Lake Winery sits on a beautiful 20-acre property, offering incredible views, a laid-back atmosphere, and an experience you won't find anywhere else around here. Whether you're enjoying a glass of handcrafted wine by the lake, relaxing on the patio, or meeting up with friends, they've got indoor, outdoor, and lakeside seating to match whatever vibe you're looking for. And on the weekends, you can catch live music, events, and entertainment that make it the perfect spot to kick back and enjoy your night. Hungry? They've got a full kitchen, so you can grab great food while you're there, and be sure to check out their menu at firelakewinery.com before you go. Planning something bigger? Fire Lake Winery also hosts weddings, parties, and private events, creating the perfect setting for unforgettable moments. Give them a call at 573-436-2103, or check them out online at firelakewinery.com to see upcoming events and plan your visit. We're proud to have Fire Lake Winery here on Midwest Mayhem Podcast as a Voices of Valor sponsor. So next time you're looking for something to do, grab your crew, head out to Fire Lake Winery, and tell them Midwest Mayhem sent you. Fire Lake Winery, your escape from the ordinary. Get fired up. Hey guys, Tyler here, Midwest Mayhem Podcast. If you're looking for a trusted local firearms dealer with real knowledge and real service, check out Frontline Armory, a veteran-owned and operated business located right here in Farmington, Missouri. Frontline Armory offers a wide selection of firearms, suppressors, ammunition, holsters, optics, tactical gear, and quality firearm accessories, all with a strong focus on education, safety, and responsible ownership. Whether you're a first-time buyer, an experienced owner, or someone interested in learning more about suppression and the process involved, their knowledgeable team takes the time to answer questions and walk you through your operation. No pressure, no gimmicks. You can find Frontline Armory at 201 West Karsh Boulevard, Unit B in Farmington, or give them a call at 573-463-6262. You can also learn more by visiting them at thefrontlinearmory.com, or follow Frontline Armory on Facebook to stay up to date on inventory and announcements. And when you stop in, go see my friends Nathan and Craig and tell them Midwest Mayhem sent you. The Frontline Armory, veteran-owned, community-focused, and proud to serve Southeast Missouri.
Hey everybody, welcome back from our commercial break. You just heard a word from our awesome sponsors, Checkpoint Coffee Canteen, Fire Lake Winery, and Frontline Armory, which is right here where we're sitting right here today in Farmington. We're sitting here with Locke and Samantha Nahlik. And
Lockie Joe and Sammy Joe, by the way.
Oh, good Lord. Well, I guess Lockie's giving out nicknames today, but...
No, that's our middle names. Lockie Joe
is
and
it?
Samantha Joe. Yeah.
I thought it was nicknames. Never mind.
Nope.
What do
That's
I know?
us.
As Lockie said earlier, I'm a man. What do I know? So Sam, again, is our 16th guest here on Voices of Valor. So happy to have her here with us. Lockie and I both worked with her for quite a while. And if you've missed the first half of this podcast episode, go back and listen to the other half. Great stuff coming up. And we're going to talk about some more. So, Sam, I want to get into a little bit about your family life with your husband, because Devin's also a paramedic and a captain at Washington County Ambulance District. You've mentioned that before anything else, you were a wife and a mom. How has your family shaped the way you approach your career?
It has changed everything. Like, once I became a mom, I had this whole new perspective on my job. I always kind of, Lockie already said it, but you look at every person as they are someone's child. It just changes your whole perspective on how you look at somebody and how you think about treating them as a human being. So being a mom has changed my perspective completely.
Well, and what about too, like, and this would be more sometimes the psych issues whenever I know I've dealt with people that they're overwhelmed by what is normal everyday life, that, you know, maybe you've been through the divorce, that's what the breaking point is. Do you handle things differently?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But prior to being in being married and those kinds of things. And then I know recently you lost your grandmother. And grandmas are very special.
Yes.
So I think it's hard. I can remember when my dad passed away. I don't even know if he'd been picked up from the nursing home. And we were coming back into Bismarck, and I went and worked a full arrest. And the man didn't make it. And at that moment, I knew exactly what that woman was going through. It wasn't a spouse, but I said to her, crazy thing here, but I literally just left my father.
Yeah.
And I'm out here. And that's when I think I knew that was my calling.
Yeah.
That was when I was suffering, I showed up for someone else.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that was mentioned Friday in the 1033, is that it is a calling.
For sure.
And no matter what, we always show up.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Even when it is so hard not to, we show up.
Yep.
So, what is it like navigating life with Devin and your career in EMS and life together that you share with Link and Easton?
Now, you said you have, do you have the boundaries of, okay, we get 5 minutes and you can come home and bitch about this, but in 5 minutes we're done. How do you do that?
So we give 20 minutes.
Okay.
If it's a bad day or there was a bad call or bad shift, obviously we're going to talk more about that. But it's really important to have that boundary because, if not, your whole entire home life will just be consumed by work conversations, and that's not healthy at all. We try really, really hard, and I think we do a good job of separating those things. You know, we both always say our kids and our family will come first. I'm going to spend time with my kids. I'm going to go to my kids' baseball game, and I'm not going to check my emails, and I'm not going to answer my phone.
And that's one of the things too that I had to realize. I don't want that to define me. And this needs to be noted because I have to write this all down. If I would die within the next 5 years, I think I want a hell of an EMS funeral. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Just because I want you all to be uncomfortable in those Class A uniforms. But then I think, and do I want it mentioned? Yes, but I don't want people to say, when they're sitting down getting my funeral ready and they ask Brett and Sydney, well, tell me about your mom. Well, she was our mom.
She was nuts.
I don't want that. I don't want to be the mom. Yeah, she would. They will. And then they'll bring out that paperwork. But I mean, that isn't who defines us.
Yeah.
That really, your job on this earth is to be Devin's wife. And that sounds so sexist, I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And to be Easton and Lincoln's mother. That is who really is defining you. And they should be able to say, yeah, my mom was at every baseball game. And they're going to get to the point where they're going to know that I'm sure it's obvious at times that Devin comes home because Devin is a shit magnet.
Yeah.
His entire crew is.
That's B crew, right?
And the boy, yeah. And the boys are going to be able to recognize that at times. But that's what I try to stress to the kids that have kids. You are their parent first.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Because they're going to remember you being at the ball game. They're not going to remember necessarily dad coming in and being pissed because of whatever. They're going to remember those moments, and you have to shut that phone off, and you have to focus on your family.
And we do a really good job, I think, of keeping each other accountable with that. Like,
I can't imagine Devin holding you accountable.
he does. He does a really good job.
He does.
He, you know, I'll
he
come
holds
home
himself
and
accountable, too.
yes, I'll come home and, you know, rant and whatever, and then he'll be like, "I'm done listening. Like, you are over your limit unless you just really need to keep going, like or your time's up." And I'm like, okay, yes, you're right. We're moving on.
So do you also take time that Devin has things he likes to do and he goes and does it, and then you have things that you go and do?
Yes.
That you're individuals, not just a married couple, but you're also individuals. And I think that's important too.
Yeah, it is.
So between work, education, the family life, how do you find that balance? What is that thing for you that you like to go do?
I really I love being a mom. Like, I will go and I will sit at baseball practice in my lawn chair and just sit in the sun and watch my kid practice baseball. Like, that's being a mom is what I love to do. So that's kind of my outlet, I guess, is taking care of my kids. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but I love it. It's my favorite thing in the
I will
world.
warn you, there's going to be a little phase that you're going to hate them. They're going to hate you. But that's what's so weird now, having adult children. I mean, I'm not like, I am their friend, but I'm not their friend. Because my kids, they'll tell you. I mean, Sydney.
There are some days I can't tell what you guys are.
Well, and it's funny because, you know, she'll come back from a call, and I've even had like them call me and say, "Mom," and Brett, I always know it's something Brett needs to talk about. Just got back from a call. And I can tell you right now, if you were there, Mom, that wouldn't have happened. You know, I mean, it's so funny. But, you know, and that's where I think, do you guys find yourself being hypervigilant after bad days? Do you feel like you are keeping them in a little bubble? I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that we struggle with.
Yeah. I think that me and Devin know each other so well that
I do too. And that is just, it is, and your story's just a neat story. So,
like
I was at their wedding.
Justin actually is the one who married us.
yes.
It was an EMS wedding.
And I've seen pictures
Literally.
that should never, those need to be put in a safe.
We just know each other so well. Like, he can walk in from work and I just like, how about you go take a nap? Or you probably need to go take a shower and just
Wash that negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just keeping each other accountable with, you know, being honest and saying, I need a break. Like, I'm going to go do something, or you need to go take a nap probably, or, you know.
Did you ever feel like you were treated differently after the kids at work? Did you ever feel like, oh, well, you know, she's a mom now and that's why she's being this way? Have you ever felt that way
No,
too?
I never felt that
Good.
way.
Okay.
No. I think especially now, there's so many of us that are moms. Whenever I was pregnant with Easton, I was like the first person in years that was pregnant at the district. Like, but no,
And that's what is neat, seeing you girls where you'll, and even the boys, because some of the dads, you know, because their moms they don't work with us. They,
Oh, there
you
for
know,
a second I thought you were going to say there was a couple
Yeah.
guys pregnant. I'm like, whoa.
Well, and you know, they'll be bringing in a trash bag full of baby clothes. And I know that, you know, Ivana's little girl is probably wearing some of Winry's stuff. Or,
Yeah.
you know, when Winry grew out of 2 diapers, Montana got them. So, I mean, that's, you know, Lincoln's going to have a choice of girlfriends. He
Yes.
is he is a lucky one there.
Sandra's already saved him for Montana. So
So, I mean, I know that there has been good support,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
that's important too, to emphasize that to the listeners, that
yes,
you have to have that too.
yes, you do.
And I know the girls have been real good, you know, with the the ones that were breastfeeding. I remember opening up the refrigerator one day and there's all this breast milk and I'm like, oh dear Jesus.
You didn't drink it, did you?
Well, so I
Oh,
will tell a
Lord.
story, not at work. There was a Winry had, I don't know, it was a bottle, and I was pretending, well, I did get some of it, and I was like, ugh. So yes, I probably shouldn't tell that story. That's disgusting, but it did. It was an accident,
was
and it
Sydney's,
did happen.
right?
But I mean, yeah, you'll open up at one point because, like Ever said, everybody but me was pregnant at work, and you open up, and there's all this breast milk in there, and it was just funny to walk in and see that. So, or another thing these girls did, they'd walk around and their shirts would be funny, and you'd hear because they were pumping while we were, and it was like no big deal that we'd all be, or I'd say to Sid, "You're leaking." So they'd have to. I mean, is that
Yeah.
not how it was
Yeah.
for however many months we had all these babies? So.
Boy, am I glad I knocked on the door before I came to get EMS
Yes,
supplies. Well, I'm glad you and Devin have a good, healthy life balance with the kiddos and everything that you guys do, because I know you probably have to take work home with you sometimes, right? To grade
Yeah.
papers and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. I'm sure that's probably a never-ending thing. So it's just good to know that you're another couple that has a really good life balance. I know Maddie Benson and Kyle. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I ran a call with Kyle last week. But they also have a really good
Yeah.
method. They have a farm and animals and horses and all that good stuff. But it's just good to know that people can find a line and don't cross it.
Yeah, I
So-
think it's very, very important if
It is.
if you're married to another first responder or
Mm-hmm.
somebody in the field, it's very, very, very important to have that balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's very easy to come home and just stay in the
Yes.
negativity.
Yeah.
Because it is. And what is that saying? Misery loves company.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I must not be miserable because I just hate being around people. Besides you guys are cool.
right.
So I do want to. I read your biography, and I really wanted to throw this question in here.
Well, and I underlined there because
Yeah.
I think that's a good, I didn't know if you caught on. to
I
that.
caught it.
Okay.
I caught it, Locke.
Okay.
I almost can't read it, but I caught it. You got that EMT signature going on there.
It's also cursive. You do know how to read cursive, correct?
What's cursive?
Exactly.
So you've been open about the fact that a mentor you once looked up to didn't have your best interest at heart. That situation also led to struggles with imposter syndrome. How did you work through those feelings?
It was hard for me because I felt like I shouldn't have been in the positions that I was in. Even as an educator, like, I haven't seen everything. I haven't done everything. But here I am standing in front of a classroom of students telling them how to do something or what, to do in situations that I personally have never been in. So I think that was kind of goes with finding my place and finding my passion and finding where I was supposed to be in EMS in my career. Because throughout, several years, I just felt like I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not built for this. So I think just going through all of those different roles in leadership and MIH and education, I kind of figured out like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be.
At what moment did you realize and identify, because that's not a common phrase, imposter syndrome. In fact, I couldn't have even told you the last time I heard that. And I know exactly what it is, and I would not have been able to use that term. When did you realize that you knew this has a label, this is what I've done, and this is what I need to do to change it?
I think just feeling like no matter what role I was in, I just wasn't good at it. It wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. Justin and I joke all the time. He's like, I think I've given you like every job there is possible to do here, which is true. But I just had this like, I guess, identity crisis in my career for a good number of years. And so I was just doing everything I could. I knew I wanted to stay in the career. I knew I wanted to stay at the ambulance district. I just needed to find my place. And going through all of these different jobs or positions, I'm just like, this is not me. Like, I shouldn't be in this role. I don't know what I'm doing. And then whenever I got into education, I think really it's been pretty recently, probably within the last not even year, is whenever I finally was like, okay, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it happened when we were doing interviews, part-time interviews for EMTs, and like 90% of them were students that I had just recently had in my classes. And they came in and, you know, they just rocked it. They had a great interview. You know, we hired them, and now they're working as EMTs and they're doing a great job. I'm so proud of all of them. And so I think seeing them from the very first day that they walked into EMT school and to them now working independently as an EMT and then being successful and doing what they love to do, what they're passionate about, I think that's really where I was like, okay, yeah, like this is what I want to do. This is what I'm supposed to do.
What advice would you give someone that is feeling like they are imposter syndrome, where, because unfortunately you can be with people that do not share your values and your work ethic. What advice would you give that person?
I would tell them first they need to find a good support system. Find those people that are in your corner. Find those people that have the same values as you, and really stick with them. And something else that I always say is you have to remember your why. So remembering your why did you fall in love with EMS? Why did you want to go to EMT school? Why did you want to advance your career? Who was that patient, or when was that moment that you realized this is what you wanted to do? Like, try to dig deep within yourself, look within yourself and say, what is my why? And remember that and just go with it.
That's very good advice.
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't have put that one any better. So we're looking 10 years in the EMS field for you. You've wore almost every hat that Washington County has to offer. What's been the hardest part in your EMS career so far? And if you could change one thing about EMS, what would it be?
The hardest part, I guess, really is just kind of what, I've talked about, finding my place and where, I should be, where I want to be, what I'm good at. I think that's been the hardest so far. I know a lot of people, have came on here, talked about calls that have just shaped them or situations. But really for me, it's not been the calls. It's just been the other things that I've gone through and the other experiences that I've had that have really shaped me into who I am in EMS now. So, yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that's looking to get into the EMS career?
Oh, that's a hard question.
I know I think this is important, not to steal her thunder, but if you are on your first, give it at least maybe 2 or 3 clinicals, but if you know it's not for you,
Yes.
Get
it's
out.
okay to leave.
Yes. And
It's okay.
I always tell the students that, like, it's okay if this is not for you.
Absolutely. Because it's a job you don't know until you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, at any point in time, like, you have to even people who are in the career for 10 years, right? If you think, like, this is not for me anymore, then you should just find something else. It's okay. It's going to be hard because, kind of what we talked about it becoming who you are, your identity. But you can get through that, you know, but that's what I always tell the students, like, if you get into this and you realize this is not, because this is not for everybody.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
It
Definitely
is not
not.
for everybody, and that's okay. You know, there's other things out there for you. Your place is just somewhere else, and that's okay. But I think some advice I would give would just be find your why. Like
I think
That's a
very
good one.
I do.
and if it's this, then take it and run. And if not, that's okay too. There's something else out there for you. So
That's a great one. Now we're going to bounce to the outside of the community, or outside of the field. What do you wish people in the community understood more about what paramedics go through? Because, and I try to bring this up every so often in episodes. You have Facebook, you have social media, you have a camera at your disposal to record every single move that first responders make, whether you're a cop, you're a fireman, you're a paramedic. What do you wish these people understood about what you guys go through?
honestly, everything. I would tell somebody, go and do a ride along with your local ambulance, volunteer fire, police, and just see for yourself like what these people do every single day, what it takes to keep going. And you know, I know you guys talk a lot about the volunteer fire service and how it's so hard to get people to volunteer and want to serve their community in that capacity. So, you know, just go see for yourself. See what it's like. See the calls that we go on, the things that we do. How, you know.
See,
And ask
hear.
questions. I mean,
Yes.
because
yeah.
that is one thing about who we are. You may see us, what may look like that behavior shouldn't be at this moment. But what you're not seeing is if I don't do this,
Yeah.
I'm going to be balled up in
Yeah.
the fetal position. And I can't, because this is what I have to do to
Yep.
handle
Yeah,
it.
and ask questions. Like you
Ask
said,
questions.
like we want people to understand and to know.
Well,
and
yeah,
ask
because I would
questions.
much rather, and because this is another thing when you said we become family, I can call you anything I want to, and you and I can have it out. But by golly, there better not be anybody else that does, because
Yeah.
I'm coming at you with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But ask questions, ask about that. And, you know, and then us as providers, I know that suck it up mentality isn't that, but do take a second to, when you are in that, it's their emergency. Let it be their emergency.
Yes. Yep.
Take a second, and I know you're having a bad day. Just take a second and deal with that, because sometimes we're put in situations to make us better.
Yeah.
And there, I have learned more from patients when I've gone in, you know, going through divorce, going through my kids, something, going just me personally. And I have a couple of my ladies that I pick up on MIH that I did not want to go to work. In fact, I wasn't even sure I wanted to wake up that morning, but I knew I was taking them into town for a chiropractor appointment, and that made my day.
Yep. That's your why.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And you have to do that.
Yep.
But please, for the public, please ask us questions, because, and I know it's just like it takes one bad apple, but we're not all bad apples.
No.
Nope.
And we are human beings. You know, that's what I'd see. Kids would see me out at Walmart as a teacher and stare at me like I was a
Zombie.
or a dinosaur out of, you know, why is a dinosaur's out of its, you know, environment. We're human beings too. You know, we have families. Don't use platforms to make us look bad. Like I always say, I don't need anybody else to make me look bad. I can do that myself. But please, if you have questions, ask, and do it respectfully, because we're respectfully going to give you an
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you are going to respectfully get an answer
The
from
first
us.
responder service. Now, here's what I want. Something for me. Here's something I want you listeners to understand. There's a thing called HIPAA that we have to follow as a
Yes.
first responder. We are legally bound to that. We cannot share what Meemaw's name is, what she was doing, where she lives, and all that info. But I can explain to you what this truck does, what tools it does, our financial situation. Like, I can tell you all of that. I just can't tell you what who I just ran a call on. And I think that's where people get a little bit of things mixed up of, well, we can't talk to them about anything. Wrong.
Or you're hiding something. You
Yeah.
won't- No,
we're not
we're
hiding.
not.
We're just legally bound to where we can't talk about it. And not to mention, it's none of your business to begin with. But just for the listeners to understand that. So we're going to jump.
Well, and I know one thing too, because I'm on both sides as a volunteer fireman and then working in EMS. We do love when you bring the kids down or your
yeah.
Girl Scout troop or whatever. That is one thing at Washington County. Which I hope it's usually when I'm deciding to be an absolute fool. You walk out in the hallway and here comes Laura bringing a family down, and I mean we'll show you our environment. You're not going to necessarily see our living quarters because it is our home.
Yeah.
But you're going to get to see what we do. You can come and do a ride along with us, get the waiver, and you can do that. So just be aware of that.
Funny you say that. I do want to bring this up. So the department I used to be on, I used to head up all of our PR stuff. And we would go visit the school every year and take the fire truck and see all the kids. Well, one year there was this kid named Easton Davis.
Oh, Lord.
And they all came out and they sat out in front of the fire truck, and I'd walk back and forth and show them tools in the truck. And this kid, without skipping a beat, I told him who I was, my name, and he goes, "Hey." I was like, "Yeah?" He goes, "You know my dad." And I'm like, oh yeah? I knew who it was. He's like, "Yeah, Cody Davis, you know who he is." I was like, "Yeah, I do." He goes, "I think you know my mom, too." I was like, "Who's your mom?" And he told me, I was like, "Yeah, I know both of them." He goes, "I'm cooler than everybody else." So that tells you who Easton is.
Yeah.
But that was a funny story. But yeah, PR events, that is my favorite thing. And I'm really looking forward to that now that I'm back in the service. So.
Yeah. Well, and it makes them, because usually when we go, it's not just for fun. I mean, there's an emergency situation.
Yes.
And they need to know that we are safe people and that we are going to take care of them.
Absolutely.
So,
So this is going to bring us into our main line question here on Voices of Valor. We ask everybody this. This is the 16th time we've answered this, and Lockie, I have failed us. I still have not put that collaboration of Valor questions. If I could talk today, that's the first time I've said that. I haven't put that together. I'm working on it. So Sam, we ask everybody this because everybody has given us different answers, and the last 15 that we've had, I've loved every one of them. What does the word valor mean to you personally and professionally?
I think valor to me means to have integrity for not only yourself, which is very important, but for your team, for your coworkers, for your patients, for the community, doing the right thing, even when nobody else is looking.
absolutely.
Or being that advocate for your patient, or being that person who you can go to after a bad call and pile up in a room together and talk. So I think it's kind of a couple different things to me. Integrity is the big one, and then just being there for each other. Because, at the end of the day, we are all one big dysfunctional family.
That is for sure.
And, we have each other's back, and taking care of each other and taking care of yourself.
Absolutely. That was a good one.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love hearing this every time because we get some that are so close and then some that are so far apart, but it doesn't have one definition. There's so many different. So I do love that question. So we're going to jump into our rapid fire round. You've listened to our episodes, so you know how this goes. I'm going to spit off a bunch of questions. You're going to give me a one-word answer, some two, depending on what the question is. And we're going to have a little bit of fun here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. And I know the answer to this first question. Coffee or energy drink before a shift?
Energy drink.
Red Bull?
Yes.
How did I know?
Which is your flavor of the?
I like the strawberry. No, watermelon. Watermelon.
Yeah, that is a good.
The strawberry apricot one's really good too.
Watermelon. Or just the plain OG Red Bull.
Yeah.
So, favorite station meal or snack?
Probably QT spicy taquita, chicken taquita.
Yes, those are good. Music or podcast on the way to work? My feelings aren't gonna be hurt if you don't say podcast.
Probably music. And specifically like mid 2000s alternative.
Yes.
There you go.
That is good.
I still listen to the same music that I did in high school, middle school, and high school.
Like,
today.
so what's your favorite? What would be when it comes on? You're like, yeah, this is my jam. This is gonna be a good day.
I really like Paramore, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy.
I got to meet Brendan Urie, by the way.
You did.
Yeah, and I was
would
like
have
this
died
fo-
in like
Well,
10th grade, but that was me.
So I went. That was my very first time seeing. No, that was maybe our second time seeing him, and we paid extra to do this like meet and greet thing, and we got a CD, and he signed it, and I mean I was standing there, this late 30s, 40-year-old woman, probably 40s, and I was like, I couldn't even
Yeah, that
focus.
would have
He's
been-
so beautiful. So
Oh, if you wanted,
his back flips without a shirt on. Oh.
do we need to call EMS now? Or do
We
you have
might. I think I'm getting a little tacky here.
if you weren't in EMS, what might be a career you try?
All throughout my childhood, I wanted to be like a teacher. I guess regular.
Well, Lockie
school
can tell you
teacher.
how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of am doing that in some capacity.
Oh, yeah,
just,
yeah, that's true.
in a different way.
Absolutely. Funniest thing you've ever heard on the radio. Now, this might relate back to Cody because Cody used to come off with some wild things.
Oh gosh, I don't know. There was something recently that was funny. So somebody had an open mic and they didn't know it. And I'm just going to say it was Cody Campbell. So if you know Cody, he is loud and just this Belgrade hick anyway. And he was going on some big rant about I don't even know what. And he just had no idea that he had an open mic. And we all were just dying laughing. It
He was
the
supposed to
greatest
come
thing.
do an episode with us at some point, but he never got back with me. So Cody, come check out Voices of Valor. That's funny. I'm kind of sad I missed that. I don't get to hear the Washco channels anymore because I don't have a radio right now. I'm waiting to get one. So the second I do, you best believe I'll be flipping that bitch to Washco. Dog or cat person?
Dog.
Dog. Yeah.
Do you guys have pets?
No.
Okay.
I'm actually highly allergic to cats, unfortunately.
Well, that
but
sucks.
yeah.
I don't really care for cats, but I guess it sucks for people who like them. Favorite piece of gear on the ambulance?
I don't really know if you would say gear. I'm going to go with your just God-given 5 senses. That tells you a lot. Your eyes, your ears, your nose.
That's good.
That will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about your patient just by looking at them, listening, and sometimes the smell is
Yeah.
Some of them you wish you
questionable,
didn't
but
have a nose.
yes,
Yeah.
some of them you wish, but
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's the best tool you have is yourself.
Something people might be surprised to learn about you.
I like to bake.
You like to bake or get baked? There's two different.
I like to bake things,
Now-
cookies, bread.
Now, do you do the cinnamon rolls or is that Devin's
That's
creation?
the Devin's creation,
Okay.
but I wish I would have thought of that first. But
I
yeah,
know because they are.
they are good.
Yeah, they are.
I like to bake. That's something I like to do in my free time.
I think Lockie likes to get baked, but that's
If I'm going to tell you right now, if it were absolutely yes, without a doubt, absolutely.
I'm about to start doing a random drug test here on the podcast.
Yes.
Let's see here. First thing you do when you get home after a long shift, this is probably back way when, or after a long day at school.
Spending time with my family, really. Just coming home, turning my phone on silent, and just giving my full attention to my kids.
That's a good one. So I always put one word. I don't know why I just don't put two, but one word that sums up EMS to you. If you'd like to use two, you're more than welcome to. I know dysfunctional is probably one of them.
Yeah, that's probably always a good one. Home.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Probably that would be my one word. Or fun, or the best job in the whole entire world.
Well, and that's what I've said about you saying home. There have been times that my physical home, where I actually received mail, wasn't home to me,
Yeah.
and I use the term safe place,
Yeah.
and I feel very safe at work.
Yeah.
And I honestly, it's so weird to call it work because to me it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
And when I say, "Oh, I love my job," people look at me like, "Ew,
the hell's
why?"
wrong with
Yeah,
you?
nobody's supposed to love their job. I do. I love my job.
Yeah. Me too. It's the best job in the whole world.
And there are days that some of them I would like to take them out in the parking lot and do. I think we need a fight club at least one night in the parking lot. But also, I'm going to be the first one that's going to defend you
Oh yeah, for sure.
to whatever degree. I will put tape over my Washington County Ambulance District logo that's on my polo if I need to, or I will just take it off, and we will
go
fight.
over
I will do that for these people too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I'm kind of like I'd like to be like, I'm the really cool older sister, but no, I'm the fucking mom and gram of the place. And the kids know they can come and joke with me, and I can be that, because I always say I have the mentality of like a 14-year-old boy, but yet I also feel like they can come to me to get advice. But I've learned more from the kids I work with than I probably could my whole life from anybody else.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for coming here and joining us today.
This has been really
Thank you
good.
guys for
I
having
think
me.
this is
Yeah.
going to. It's you've had a lot of very neat things to say. A lot of things that people need to think about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you guys for having me.
Your dedication to your patients, to your family, to your students, to your place of employment, of knowing that that's where you're going to stay is one of a kind. You don't find that in very many. You have embodied many people to continue to fight on, to make sure that they stick with the job that they want to stick with. You truly are a great asset to EMS and the first responder service, and I can say that because I've worked with you. Lockie can say it. You have compassion with everything, and you are making the profession stronger for the next generation.
Thank you. I hope so.
So I truly think your episode's going to make a big difference. I
do too.
hope the messages that were left in this episode today get across to the right people.
Well, I think it says something too for an organization, and I'm going to include the Mineral Area College, the education in that as well. When you have people, more than 2 or 3 that say, "I want to retire from organization," that says something.
You're doing something right.
And we may not always do it right. And sometimes if you look on Facebook, we don't do anything right. But if you can have your people that are there, majority of the people are there for people. And to want to stay there says a lot about the organization.
So I do have 2 more questions for you. Well, these are your exiting questions here. If you could leave our listeners with one message, something you've learned from your career in EMS and life as a wife, mother, and educator, what would it be?
I would say that you matter. You deserve to sit at the table. You deserve to take up space. And just never forget that you matter.
Perfect. That very strong words in such a small sentence. Mental health. Everybody listening to this matters. Everybody in life matters. Nobody should ever have to take their own life because they feel like they are alone. One thing we do like to do here on Voices of Valor let me try that again.
Start all over.
One thing we like to do here on Voices of Valor is challenge our guests to keep Voices of Valor going and nominate somebody else in the emergency service field, whether that be police, dispatch, fire, EMS.
Veteran.
Veterans. Thank you. To continue on the story, the powerful messages that are left here on the podcast. So, Sam, who is somebody you would like to dedicate to come join us? Dedicate. I'm having a stroke, I think. Who would you like to nominate to come join us here on Voices of Valor if I stay alive that long?
Well, I've got my funeral plan within the next 5 years, so.
I think that I would nominate Liz Nixon. She's become a really good friend of mine recently, and she's got a really good story, and she would have a lot of really awesome things to share, I think. So, Liz.
And she would be one that would say, I don't have anything important
Yes,
to say.
she
I
would.
can hear it in her little voice. I know
Well,
exactly that's what she
You
would
see,
say.
I've talked to Liz once or twice already, and that's kind of what she told me. So, Liz, if you're listening to this, I now have people to back me up that they want you here. So come join us. Get on the website, sign up, and we'll get some things going for you and get you here on the podcast. So I'm so excited that Sam was able to join us today. Thank you taking time out of your Sunday that you could be spending with your kiddos to come tell your story and let people listen to you. It's just great knowing knowing we've talked to 16 people, and I think by the time we're done, if nobody else signs up, we're up to 20. So that's
And as I tell everybody, you are now a resource.
Absolutely.
And so that is something that we always try to end with, is the fact that, if you are in a crisis situation, please you reach out through 988. You can reach out through us at our website. Our
Facebook.
That sounds like 1984. Our Facebook page or any of our social media platforms. You can contact us individually. Well, for shit's sake, you can call the district and say, hey, I need to talk to Sam. That was that girl that was on, that podcast thing that they're doing or whatever. But please reach out. You don't have to do this alone.
No, you don't.
You don't have to. I mean, we've got, I have an abundance, forever resources. I have things on my phone. I have a vehicle that we can take you to get you stabilized. Please just reach out. Don't be a statistic.
I always say if I don't know the resource, I can find somebody
Absolutely.
that does.
That's exactly
So,
what we say,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
We've got a resources tab on our website at www.midwestmayhempodcast.com. Go check it out. If there's something there that I am missing, please let me know. I'm happy to add it to our website. In the past week, I did add a good friend of ours, Sheila Struckmeyer. I can't think of her last name. I added her son's foundation to
Klaus
our
Foundation.
website. The Klaus Foundation is now on our website. If you go to our homepage and click the Klaus Foundation logo, it'll take you directly to their website to be able to tell Klaus a story and
Well,
all
and
that.
we also have newly added, just because I didn't know anything about them, the 1033 Foundation, which we
Yes.
could go through
Yeah.
with Mac to get that taken care of. There was also, it may be Southeast Behavioral Health. I want to say her name was Whitney. I'm not sure. And then there was another young man. He does a podcast as well, and he is a suicide survivor. And so there literally are resources. All you have to do is reach out. There
Absolutely.
are resources. And, we have resources. We can even find financial resources if you're struggling with mortgages or whatever, because that does lead to stress and that does lead to, whatever. But we have resources. You are not doing this alone. I know that we're making a difference because, like I said, I have some of the salty old paramedics or law enforcement or whatever. They are telling their stories.
And there's more and more every day, and I can't wait
Yes.
to see how many more we can get.
Yes.
If you enjoy our podcast, go check out Break the Stigma podcast. Michael does a really good job with that.
And he's very real.
Yes, for sure. He is hardcore real to the T. We talked to him at the free mental health seminar over in Leadwood a couple weeks ago. Plan on doing a crossover with him here soon, and we got a lot of things coming up. But again, thank you to our sponsors: Checkpoint Coffee Canteen, Fire Lake Winery, check our Frontline Armory here in Farmington. Cannot thank all three of them enough for for supporting our mission here on Midwest Mayhem and our Voices of Valor series. We couldn't do it without them.
No.
I mean, this stuff gets pretty expensive pretty quick. So every dime that you guys spend on our website or that they have donated to us has gone back into equipment and helping us continue on our mission and buying resources to hand out and stuff like that. So
And we are not educated professionals, but we are
No.
we are real people. And sometimes that peer support, because like Sam said, if I can't help you, I will then find the next level
Yep.
of help.
Absolutely.
If I'm just some crazy old lady from Bismarck, I can at least start your process to get you healthy and get you back to you.
Absolutely. So a couple things we got coming up. Again, last week was Dispatcher Appreciation Week. Our telecommunicator, let me make sure I get their title right. We want to make sure that we extend our appreciation for them and everything that they do for us here in the 911 side. They handle a lot of stress. We've talked to a couple dispatchers here. Cannot thank those guys enough for everything they do. Sitting in a room, not knowing the outcome, of a situation that they may have handled. So thank you again so much for that. We do have an adult prom coming up at Fire Lake Winery. That is May 16th at 7 p.m. It's a 90s alt and splash of 80s dress.
That is actually right around my prom because class of 93 from North County.
Good
That is
Lord.
hardcore.
So you might see Lockie out there on the dance floor out there at Fire Lake Winery.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll come out there and broadcast and we'll record you. So go check that out. Again, Fire Lake Winery is a sponsor of ours. So go check them out. Give them some business. Great food, great wine. A lot of happy people out there. Lockie loves their pasta salad apparently. So
Yeah.
check them out. There's a book signing coming up at Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen with Kevin Eckhoff, who is a corrections officer. Saturday, June 20th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. He will have copies available of his book for $15 on site. And I think Lockie and I are going to be live on site live that day.
Well, and that is my birthday, so I will take any type of monetary gifts or coffee gift cards. I don't care. So
Well, we'll be able to spend Lockie's 51st birthday with her.
yes, yeah, because 50th Blue, I didn't have there. Nobody cared, but 51, we're going down.
Well, right after your 50th when we started this whole shebang. So
Yeah.
we're almost at our year mark.
so
Locke.
technically, it starts June 1st, so you can start sending gifts then.
So bring Lockie some birthday gifts over to Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen that day and come spend some time with us. You can find anything you want on our website. You can learn about who Lockie and I are, our mission. We have plenty of resources listed. We have we have all of our merch available. Lockie just bought a new hat and a new T-shirt from us.
did.
How do you like it?
I love it,
Love it? That's fantastic.
and I've already gotten compliments from it.
Well, good.
too,
Tell 'em-
so,
make sure
yeah.
you tell them where they can go buy some more of it. You need your own
Absolutely.
hat.
Yeah.
So go check out our merch. Again, everything you spend comes right back into the podcast. We don't take any of it for ourselves, I promise.
Well, and really, technically, it goes right back to
Oh yeah.
the listeners. I
Yeah,
know it
yeah.
sounds like that, but it does. It goes back to us having the availability to have resources.
Yep, absolutely. It goes right back to you guys for anything you guys need. We're happy to help at any point in time. So make sure you guys go check it out. Our Wall of Valor, which I'll be updating tonight when I get home. I'll be throwing Sam on it. Of all 16 people we've talked to on the Voices of Valor series, and I hope that wall continues to grow. So go check it out. You can check out our Beacons link, which will take you to our Voices of Valor sign up, all of our social media and all of our listening platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You can watch us live here on the recording on YouTube, so check that out. Other than that, Lockie, you got anything else?
No, just have a good week, enjoy the weather, and
Happy Friday, because when this episode
Yes.
drops, it is Friday.
yes.
So
And take care of yourself. Take care of
Absolutely.
each other. I know I may have stolen that from maybe Ellen or someone, but take care. You have to be healthy to take care of, and you have to love yourself, and you have to be able to do
absolutely,
others.
absolutely. Same
and just
here.
be a kind human. That's all it. And I'm going to use an explicit. That's all it fucking takes.
Absolutely.
Simple human kindness.
Yep, absolutely.
Sprinkle
Same.
that shit everywhere.
You're on one.
I am. I'm.
You took my energy from last episode.
My sweatshirt says caffeinated. I'm over caffeinated right now.
Well, Sam, do you have anything you want to add before we get off of here? Say hi to anybody?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Just echo what Lockie said.
Absolutely. Well,
Minus the F word though. Right?
No, add that in.
you guys are sprinkling this shit everywhere.
Yes.
Other than that, this has been Midwest Mayhem, the Voices of Valor series. Our 16th guest, Samantha Nahlik, has came and joined. I can't talk today. Lockie, whatever. I'm your host, Tyler.
I'm Lockie.
And this has been Midwest Mayhem. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys again next week when we talk to Joe Wilkius. I can't pronounce his name. I'm not good with the last
I don't
name.
have it in front of me. I
Yeah.
know it's Joe.
So we're going to be talking to Joe. He's coming down from Fort Leonard Wood. I'm so excited. But until then, we'll talk to you guys here soon. And